That's very
Right.
true. No, you never know. But we will move on to the next team that we have to talk about. This, to me, is one of the biggest talking points right now in the NBA. A lot of Laker fans are crying right now. There seems to be some turmoil in Los Angeles. They're half crying because obviously the Rams have made the Super Bowl, but there is huge issues. The Lakers, obviously, at the trade deadline, were supposedly ready to make some moves. I believe I'm trying to think which player was the big one that Cam Reddish was going to be a player that was interested in going to LA. There was a lot of interesting trades coming up, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the Lakers decided not to make trades. They decided to keep the fort and keep the players that they had, and now they are stuck with Russell Westbrook and LeBron James and the players that they have for the foreseeable future of this season. Now, moving on to what we're going to talk about today, the first story, of course, is going to be Russell Westbrook seems to be blaming his back issues on being benched. The Lakers did not trade Russell Westbrook at the deadline, despite the rumors circulating, people saying, hey, you need to get rid of this guy. This is what Russell Westbrook said against Milwaukee. Russell Westbrook said he felt discomfort in his back and adds that the part of the issue is that he's not accustomed to sitting down for long stretches, aka he's taking shots at Frank Vogel, saying, "Why the hell are you benching me for so long?" And I want to give it to you guys to kind of talk about it, and then I'll chime in as well. Let's talk about this part first, then we'll talk about the Lakers overall as a whole. What do you make of this story about Russell Westbrook and his supposedly bad back?
I mean, dude,
you,
what this team needs so bad is for LeBron just to come out publicly and say something and stop pretending like there's not any problems, right? Like, if he just put Russell Westbrook in line like he should, right? Just be like, I'm the leader of this team, right? You need to be sat because we're losing and we're bad with you on the court the way you play, right? If you fix the way you play in a manner that behooves the rest of the team and helps us all, he'll be back out there. We need you. Like, if only we could have you out on the court, right? The way you play, taking these awful three-point shots in the last 5 minutes of games, just shooting period in the fourth quarter, right? You have to stop doing that and you can be out on the court. But as long as you continue to be the same guy you've been your whole career, tough luck, dude. We'll send you home for the rest of the season. And honestly, if it keeps going the way it's going to go, or the way it's going, that is what's going to happen, I think.
Yeah, there is a problem, man. I don't know. Like, I follow LeBron a lot, and I notice every time there's a big loss or a big problem with the team at the press conference, he always grabs the mic off of the holder. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but
Yeah,
there's
he does. He sits back in his chair.
he sits back in his chair or have a cup of water and he grabs the mic like with force off and he'll start talking. Usually when he does that, they're either lost a big game or they're on a losing streak. So he knows there's definitely a problem. I think he just doesn't want to add more fuel to the fire. But at this stage, with no moves, I already knew it was something when he got into a heated argument with Phil Handy in the first half a couple months ago. There's something in that locker room. I don't know what's going on, but it's clearly divided there, and it looks like there's nothing to really fix it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. There was a report that came out a few days ago or yesterday too that said that Bob Pelinka had come out saying that he consulted LeBron James, Anthony Davis on deadline plans.
I seen that too.
And then there was a source that just came out that's close to LeBron that said that that's completely false. There was no conversation between Rob Pelinka, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. So that being said, it sounds like it's between the front office and LeBron. The GM and the GM are not communicating the way they should be, right? So when it comes down to it, it's really what's going to happen is they're gonna punt the rest of this season. LeBron is probably going to have some injury come up in a few weeks. Right? We're going to see the Lakers, the first season he was on the Lakers, happen all over again, right? Where they just toss the second half, let LeBron rest, come back next season, which is probably their best bet because they can really reset next season if they do the right things. Like Russell is expiring next year, right? You can move him for a huge contract, maybe, depending on who it is, and they get their 2027 pick, which I think was the reason they didn't end up making any trades. If I remember correctly, I saw some stuff that said that because of, I don't remember what trade it is. Maybe it's the 2029 pick it was, that it's not available to be traded for them just yet and they didn't want to make any trades without that being available. So, I don't know. It sounds like Rob Pelinka probably isn't going to be there again.
I think the problem that I saw, and we talked about it. It's kind of funny. We talked about it a couple years ago when LeBron James and that Lakers team won their first championship. The year before, people were talking about, especially the year before that when he first arrived, everyone was like, Rob Pelinka's a terrible GM. Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, just not a good fit. Frank Vogel, terrible coach. Like, there was a lot of criticisms to that. And as soon as they won their championship, everyone was happy, everyone's excited. And that's what makes Laker fans totally different than any other fan base that I think I ever seen or ever hear about. This fan base is just absolutely, they want everything immediately. They want instant gratification. And they don't understand that you need to take your lumps. But at the end of the day, they didn't set themselves up for success for the next prime 2 years of LeBron James, especially this year. I think LeBron's playing at an all-time level right now. And the fact that you can't take advantage of that and build pieces around him is frustrating. Obviously everyone thought that that Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook were going to be the two players to help carry that. I was one of those people. I'm not going to lie to the audience and say I knew this little team was going to be bad. I thought this team was going to be good. I thought this team was going to really do something. But at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook is going to be Russell Westbrook. He's going to play his own game. He's going to play his own way. And that's always been Westbrook. Anthony Davis, injury prone. And that's always been the criticism with him. And that's the frustrating part about Anthony Davis, because he could be, an all-time great player, at the power forward position, being able to shoot the ball and also being able to score inside. The problem with them has always been, can he stay healthy? Can he be available? Availability is the best ability. And that's something that AD has not developed, and I don't know if he will. I think now that LeBron James is kind of wind down, I think he's going to play wherever his son ends up being drafted to, which I think is going to be in a couple years. I think the 2024 season. So he's got, he's got about a couple more years left. He's going to play with the son 1 year, and then he's going to retire. I think that's what's going to happen, because I think that's what LeBron wants.
Would we be surprised at all if LeBron leaves after this season?
No, I was going to say that.
I don't think so. Why would I want to be part of that? This organization that clearly, it happened with Kobe, it happened with LeBron. Now, they just cannot seem to as soon as they got the pieces, and once those pieces have gone on and moved away, they just cannot seem to get guys to come in over and over again. Right now, the Milwaukee Bucks have done a great job of that by bringing in Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka is a great fit for the Milwaukee Bucks. Meanwhile, the Lakers can't get anybody, and that might just do the fact that a lot of teams just don't like the Lakers just for what they are, and maybe they don't like LeBron James, and maybe that might be part of it as well. But
I don't think it's that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I don't think it's that either.
I think it's the front office and the Buss family. I think they care more about their revenues, selling tickets, selling jerseys, getting concession food money. I don't think they got their championship. Their family's worth $6 billion. I think they just want to add more to their wealth, honestly, because to go back to what you said, they did the same thing with Kobe. Nobody wanted to go there. Why would anybody not want to go to the Los Angeles Lakers with Kobe Bryant? It makes no sense. It's clearly the Buss family that's driving all this and what's telling Pelinka what to do. They're probably telling him, don't trade Russell Westbrook. Don't trade him. We need him here because he's marketable. Mm-hmm. He's marketable, right? He's the king of the triple doubles. He's an MVP. He has a good personality. Fans will buy his jersey even if we lose. That's how Laker fans are. They've been doing that for years. They don't care about winning. And I think LeBron's noticing that, and I wouldn't be shocked if he leaves and demands a trade even back to Cleveland, and they get a lot of key pieces.
He was smart. He'd look at AD and see what's going on with him. I mean, if you look at AD minus these last 15 games, he's been pretty nice since he's been back. AD that started this season, the first 2 months, that was not a guy you want to play with if you want to win a championship. He's good, but he is not a championship winning player. The mentality that he came into this season with, right? I don't think LeBron lets any of that stuff go away. He's thinking about that all year round.
Yeah, AD's never been like that, man. The only reason why they won is because
they won, though. He was different in those playoffs. He really was. He turned.
But it was a bubble, though.
It was, and I'm not going to take that away from things. It was a bubble, so AD was different, maybe for that reason, right?
But less pressure. No fans. You seen when they went to Phoenix. When they went to Phoenix and they played the Suns, they got handed. They couldn't even make anything. He couldn't do anything. Yes, he did come back from an injury, but that's no excuse. You're a superstar player. He just can't. He doesn't shine in big moments, man. Like it's been proven like that. He's a good player, but when it's a really 7 game, he just has no durability. He breaks down. He breaks down like he's LeBron's age, and he's only 28 years old.
When it comes down to it, this is the time in LeBron's career where if he's the number 2 on a good team, I mean, are you talking a guaranteed championship if LeBron's your second best player? Yeah, I would say you're pretty damn close, right?
Mm-hmm.
He cannot be the second best player on this team. He can't. AD is not better than LeBron now.
Hell no. No. LeBron's playing like an MVP right now. This guy's averaging like 28 points a game.
But my point being, if 37-year-old LeBron is your best player,
yeah,
I mean, like LeBron is my favorite player of all time. I have like 9 different Space Jam 2 merchandise items up in my room. I've never even seen that movie yet. Mm-hmm. That being said, like he can't be your number 1 right now. If he's the only thing you have going, he can't carry your team night in and night out. He's 37. This isn't
37
2012.
Minutes. 35 minutes.
2012 LeBron on the Heat. You put him on this team's going to the playoffs guaranteed, right?
This team's
He's not that guy anymore. This team is winning the West. I agree with you. If this was 2012 LeBron, this is a number 1 contender in the West. He's
honestly,
not that
man,
anymore. He can put up the stats, but he can't carry you.
Nah, man. I think the opposite. I think he just doesn't have the supporting cast, man. Like he keeps them in games to where they're not breaking down completely. I think he has no signs of slowing down. Yes, he does get injured.
So like in an individual game, I agree with you. It's just that every night is what I mean, right? The every night he can't do that. They would be doing it right now.
I think he couldn't even do that if he had trash players with Miami in 2012. Like nobody can really do that unless you're putting up 60 a night. Like you can put up 30.
Hey, go watch some Cavaliers from 2009 and come back to me. I mean, he's playing with Boobie Gibson. He's playing with
but that's the East, though. We're talking about the West. The West has always been stacked. Back to the Suns, to the Spurs, he couldn't do that. And if LeBron was 09 LeBron in the West, he wouldn't be able to do that. They would be a 9th or 10th seed.
Right now, yeah, I agree with you. I'm saying specifically 2012, like that Heat LeBron was different. He could do everything. He could.
Yeah, because the East was trash.
I don't know, man. I would disagree with you. I'm the biggest LeBron fan of anybody I know. I love LeBron.
I'm not a hater of LeBron. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying right now, he cannot be the best player on your team in the league the way it is. The league is too deep to have a 37-year-old be your best player. He's great. He's still a top 5 player. Maybe top 10. I'd say top 5 still. But that being said, he can't go out and physically carry you the way that a guy like Giannis can. Right? He cannot do that. That's what I mean. On a one individual night basis, I still believe LeBron can beat anybody in the NBA. That's not what the regular season is. You have to make the playoffs first, right? And then even then, the playoffs aren't 1 game. They're 7-game series, right? So if your second best player is Anthony Davis, who doesn't seem to want to play half the time, you can't do it. It doesn't matter who all the other guys are. Because what I was going to say too, the craziest part about this Lakers team, if you ask me, and I think this is probably a hot take, I think they probably do have a playoff team in here. They just play the worst rotations, maybe of any team in the league. Like teams they send out there are god awful, man. They're terrible. DeAndre Jordan was starting for a while. I don't know if he's still starting. I haven't watched their last couple of games.
Do they even have him still?
No, he got cut. He got bought out.
He was starting for a while in their starting 5. You cannot win games with that guy right now. You cannot do that, right? Russell Westbrook, these dudes. You have guys on the bench who are not that bad, man. Like Austin Reeves is not bad. Get him out on the floor. What are you doing? You need youth. You need guys who can defend players. Anybody. Somebody different on the court and not your 30-year-old lineup, man.
I called this in the beginning of the season. I told y'all, man, this looks good on paper. Remember I said this? It looks great on paper.
I think it is. Their lineup isn't like it's one of the
too many high egos.
It's just bad.
Too many high egos, man.
They still have
called
DeAndre
this.
Jordan.
It's too many high egos. When you got Russell Westbrook, remember I told you guys this? It's all panning out, man. It's all panning out. You got Russell Westbrook at the press conference saying, I shouldn't be benched. I put in the work. That's high egos, man. Like
they have Trevor Ariza starting at the power forward right now, right?
They're trash, yeah.
Trevor Ariza was washed 4 years ago. If you watch basketball, he was washed when he played on Houston that one season. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable to play a lineup like that. Like, move LeBron to center, play AD at the 4, Malik Monk out there, put Austin Reeves out there, and whoever your 5th guy is, right? That lineup is better than whatever nonsense you're running. Put these guys in the best position possible to win. Go out there and stop playing the ego guys like Westbrook. If you're going to comment and make a joke, guess what? Here's a joke. Don't play all next week. Let's see how your back feels, right? Go do some yoga. See ya. You have a free day. They can't win unless somebody does that. I think that's their biggest problem. They have nobody who's willing to tell anyone to shut up and just get out there and let's win. Like, even LeBron is not doing that the way he should be doing that right now.
Yeah, because LeBron knows, why would I try to put up 45 minutes a game, put up 40 points, and we're still going to lose? It just doesn't work, man. I call this, like, it's too many high egos on that team. And then you got Frank Vogel, who's scared. Somebody pulled the string and told him, don't put in Russell Westbrook to see how he reacts to try to get him traded or something. Because that's kind of weird. That's a ballsy move by Frank Vogel. You know what I'm saying? When his job's on the line too, to not play him.
That's why he did it.
But there's somebody whispering. I don't know if that was Rob Pelinka who told him
I think it was Vogel that did it.
I don't think so, because that's kind of weird how he was all in the news saying he was all in the news. People saying he's on thin ice, that he can get fired if they don't start winning soon. And then he benches Russell Westbrook in a key moment, one of the so-called superstars they got, and he benches them before the trade deadline, right? Like, all this stuff starts happening. I think they were trying to get Russell Westbrook out of character.
Maybe, but if you were trying to trade him, why would you do that, right? I think it's more Frank Vogel needs wins. And if he thinks that Russell Westbrook is going to be shooting up these bricks at the end of games to lose it and taking shots away from LeBron and AD, guess what? I would be sitting him too if my job was on the line. I think that's why he did it.
Yeah, possibly, you could be right.
I think Vogel's done, man. I think they're going to get rid of him at the end of this, or not even at the end. I think they're going to get rid of him at some point.
I think it's a mistake.
And I think they're going to either go with Fitzdale or Phil Handy as the coach, man. I do, because I don't think that Frank Vogel. No, Fizz is.
Yeah, but is Jeannie Buss really going to want that though? Because she's the one who's
Jeannie
really
Buss doesn't even care. She doesn't even care. All she cares about is, like you said, she cares about her revenue, and she cares about posting her dogs on her Instagram. Like, she doesn't really care about the team at the current moment. Like, once they get into the playoffs, she'll start getting more involved in the Lakers. She'll start, actually being there, hanging out with Magic and Governor Newsom and all those other people and all these other elite celebrities. They're gonna all hang out there. Like, I don't see her being really involved in this team until they're good. And the reason why is because she doesn't want. Position? Fitzdale's an assistant coach. He's one of the assistants on the team.
He's not like the 1B, like right under Frank Vogel.
I don't think
they can push him there. They can push. They'll push him there.
Didn't he just do a press conference on his own? Like that
was because Vogel had COVID, so they didn't. That's why. But obviously, 1B is Fitzdale according to this. But I would rather have Phil Handy, man. I think Phil Handy's a great coach.
No,
I'd rather have Frank Vogel.
Him and LeBron going at it in the tunnel a month ago. No way.
Yeah, but they got that respect for each other. They're like, it's like a father to him. Like, it's not like a beef. Like, they don't beef with each other.
Phil Handy.
It's almost kind of like Ty Lue was back in Cleveland. Like that.
They got into it too.
Yeah,
they got into it.
But Phil Handy hasn't won anything either. He's never even coached LeBron before last season. I mean, Tyronn Lue, I don't know, man. Like, Ty Lue at least coached LeBron for some seasons too. Like, it's not like he was just yelling.
Fizdale did too, to be fair. I mean,
Yeah, I think
Fizdale has
Fizdale,
been with LeBron every year besides the 2 years he coached the Knicks. He was with
Well,
the Heat team.
the Heat, exactly.
Phil
So I
Handy was
think
with LeBron. Phil Handy was with LeBron.
Phil
And
Handy's been with LeBron the whole time too, so I'm not disagreeing with you, Brian. I think he could be the head coach too.
Cleveland
I just think Fizdale's
won a ring in Toronto and now won a ring in LA again. Like he's obviously been a very good coach. He's been through the rings. I think he should get at least a chance to be at least the head coach and just be
yeah,
an
but they
interim
don't want
coach.
that. They want headline guys like a David Fizdale. They want someone who's marketable too, man. Frank Vogel's not marketable, but he's been around.
I'd want Frank Vogel if I was between those three, personally. I'd take a guy who actually has won a championship, right?
Exactly. And who's been in the trenches and under bright lights, too.
As a Knicks fan who watched David Fizdale as a head coach for 2 seasons,
Yeah, take that for
please,
data.
like, what? Don't do it. Don't do it. Run. That guy is not going to make a team that's not a playoff contender a championship contender. That doesn't help you. If anything, I bet they'd just be worse. That'd be my opinion.
I think so, too.
Vogel is a good coach by all accounts. Is he handling
It's not his fault. It's not his fault,
at all.
man. It's what they constructed. They thought, hey, this looks good on paper. Like I said before the season started, make it mesh. You can't make it mesh with guys with all high egos making $40 million a year. It's not going to work, man. I knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you think that doesn't, or like, for Frank Vogel, the rotators, you still got to like find the guys that are going to be in the rotation. I think for me, I feel like he doesn't do enough, like maybe not experimenting is the right word, but he doesn't do enough changes in the lineup, right? He keeps the same people on the court. I think the rest that LeBron gets, I think he doesn't do a good job of, when to rest LeBron and when to put him back on the court. Because by the time LeBron rests, the second unit just gives up a lot of their stuff, and then LeBron has to come back to the court where they're down by 8 instead of they're up by 12. Yeah, they're up by 12 with LeBron in, and then they're down by 8 when he comes back out and then has to go back in. So I think they has to do a better job of finding his rotations, and obviously it doesn't help when you have LeBron and AD hurt this season, and a lot of the Kendrick Nunn also not being involved. He might be in March. We don't know yet.
And Russell Westbrook technically being your third best player.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. But I think Vogel's tired of it, man, and I would be tired of it too. Because again,
that's why I think he definitely was the one that benched Westbrook. He was basically like, we're either going to win this game and things get better for me, or whatever, fire me. I'm ready to go. This is miserable, right? Yeah. So I mean, I feel really bad for Frank Vogel. This couldn't be any less his fault. Is this? Let me ask you guys: is this the worst LeBron coaching situation? Like, is this the most dirty a coach is going to be done by LeBron, being the coach of LeBron? I guess I should say.
No, I think Blatt,
like the other guy.
Blatt was worse.
That was
man.
The worst. Yeah,
that was the worst, man.
He never even got another chance.
He got like one season. He's a good coach, man. I think Blatt kind of got the shaft of the stick, and then. It's politics. It's politics.
Blatt wasn't bad, man. Like he got them to a couple Eastern Conference Finals, right?
He got them to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, he got them to the NBA Finals, man.
One NBA Finals, and then he never got to coach again.
But too, it's politics, like you say. He's an easy punching bag for LeBron. He's from Russia or Ukraine, wherever he's from. He's not an American. He's never really been a head coach. He's just an easy punching bag for LeBron and easy for them to dispose. So, like politics, but I think Frank Vogel, he's put in a bad situation. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think he's like, shit, like he probably knew this wasn't going to work, but just
put in your best effort.
Put in your best effort. And what's his name? What's the GM's name? I know his name. I just can't. Yeah. Pelinka probably just said, make it work. We need to sell these tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get these revenues up, like make it work. You got 3 superstars now, make it work. We're paying you hefty money. You won a championship, make it work. And he can't make it work because it's not going to work. He's put in a bad situation, man. And I think they shouldn't get rid of him. I honestly don't think so. I think they should have just honestly probably went after someone like Kyle Lowry or someone instead of Russell Westbrook. Because he can shoot the ball and get to the paint and draw fouls and stuff, even though he is undersized. I thought that's who they should originally went after. And he has championship experience. He's been in the bright lights. But I think they should have Honestly, if they weren't going to get Kyle Lowry, I think they should have just kept AD and LeBron paired together and build more chemistry and get some veteran players or something. But when they added Russell, I just knew it was a set for disaster as soon as that
was the one thing I underrated with the Westbrook acquisition is just like how unflexible it made their team. Like that, I didn't think about. I thought the risk was worth the possible reward at the time. I'm not going to change history. I still thought. I think in the moment, if you're comparing, we could go get Westbrook for nothing, or we could go get Buddy Hield for nothing, right? I think taking Westbrook is probably not a crazy choice on paper. The flexibility part of it was just like too much for them to overcome. Like they can't do anything as long as he's on their books. Like he's
exactly.
It's just great. What's he make? Like $47
million or something like that, man. He's getting paid He's getting paid more than LeBron.
Yeah.
And only getting 6 points, 8 boards. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously. I think like you say, like I said, like it's good from a talented perspective, or on paper, but from a basketball perspective, it's not great with the players they had, man. And I've seen that from a mile away. I see that as well with the Sixers.
They should have honestly just kept going at the Kings, because the Kings were just going to make some dumb, move one of their star players. I think they should have just kept hounding them and just keep knocking at their door and try to get.
Or even look at Dallas, dude. Like, look at what Dallas just gave Porzingis away for. You don't think that guy could have helped their lineup too?
They got Dinwiddie, dude. Right?
Got nothing for Porzingis. They got Dinwiddie and the other worst contract in the league, Davis Bertans.
Bag of peanuts. Yep.
So you look at some of these other moves.
Don't be hating on my guy Bertans, man. He doesn't deserve this.
He's not even a good 3-point shooter. That's all he got his money for.
That guy shoots wild.
He got the Otto Porter Jr. contract.
Dude, he got the Chandler Parsons. They wish he was Chandler Parsons and didn't play contract. They wish he didn't play.
He got the Otto Porter, man. Remember when Otto Porter was bought? They were like, "This guy's great shooting. This is why we got him."
They gave him a max.
Man,
they gave him a max too.
Him up so heavily, it was crazy.
What was that Otto Porter? Wasn't it like 4 for 125 or some craziness like that?
Yeah,
it was
120.
It was during the time before the pandemic where contracts were at an all-time high. Even bench role players
was getting like 20 mil.
Yeah, role players getting some good contracts. And I think at the end of the day, we're gonna see where the Lakers end up. I know they're gonna be huge buyers in the buyout market.
They're gonna get all the players.
They're gonna get every single player, and it's gonna be interesting to see.
Is a lot of teams though, like the Raptors. There's gonna be a lot of teams that think, hey, we can make a run if we get an Eric Gordon or Robin Lopez. If we can get them both, we can go deep. There's gonna be a lot of teams going for guys though. It's not just gonna be the Lakers. I think a lot of guys who could be on the buyout market don't even want to think about the Lakers right now because it's kind of a waste of their time.
Yeah. I've heard this floating around there. I think Schroeder's going to come back when he gets bought.
To the Lakers. Okay.
The Lakers. I think he will, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, there was rumors of that happening.
Think about the leverage that Schroeder's going to have with this team. If he can come back and just slot back in as their point guard and they play better, right? He's going to get his contract. I think he'll go there. That's my opinion. I think he's going to go back to try and get the contract he passed on.
Yeah, like IT said, man, they're gonna have to back up the Brinks truck for him if he comes back. He's gonna be able to get anything he wants. If he's gonna have even if he gets 18 points a game, man, he's gonna get that 120.
Yeah. We'll see.
They could use him. They could definitely use him.
We'll see how this all fans out for the LA Lakers as we continue to monitor the situation with them in the buyout market. But people out there in the chat right now, or whether you're watching this video afterwards, let us know in the comment section down below. What do you make of the LA Lakers and their situation right now? Are they a team that's built for success, or do you think that they're a team that's built for failure and just going to be a team that goes out in the first round? Let us know in the comment section down below. Alrighty, let us look at a